Welcome to today's Living Word with Pastor Arlene.
Joining us for today's Living Word. We've been looking at fighting the good fight of faith and how to please God, and our faith pleases God because we believe in Jesus, and it's our faith in Jesus that pleases God. So now let's look at Hebrews 11:15. We're still talking about walking in victory, fighting the good fight of faith because we have victory because of what Jesus did. Verse 15, and truly they had been mindful of that. If they had been mindful of that country from where they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. If they had been mindful of the country they left. You see, the country they left, they didn't have to live in tents and a nomadic life. They had family around them, probably friends. If they had started thinking about that country, they would have had that opportunity to return. So it's vitally important to know what we're looking at and what we remember. In Philippians 3, verses 13 and 14, Paul says, "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended." Never get to the place where you might think, I know everything. I don't need to be in the Word anymore. I don't need to pray anymore. I don't need to go to church anymore. I don't have to listen to teaching anymore because I've arrived. Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament, says, I don't think of myself as having reached that goal. But he says, this one thing I do, I forget those things which are behind. You see, it's a good thing Abraham didn't think of that country he had left. Paul said, I forget those things that are behind, and I reach forth unto those things which are before. Abraham was reaching forth to the promised land. We have to press forth into our promised land in Christ Jesus. He says, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. We must remember who we are and whose we are, but we need to get to know Jesus. You see, if Abraham had been mindful of where he come from, he would have turned back. If Paul had kept thinking of those things behind him, remembering that he had killed and persecuted Christians, that he had this high position as a Pharisee of Pharisees, he may have turned back to that. But he didn't. Remember, what you put in front of your eyes, your ears, and your mouth will cause you to go in that direction. You go in the direction of your most dominant thoughts. Thank you for joining us today.